I want to bring in Keisha Lance Bottoms, Democratic candidate for Georgia governor and former mayor of Atlanta. She's also author of the new book, The Rough Side of the Mountain, a memoir. It's good to have you here. And I just want to pick up on where that left off, because we know the number one issue on the minds of Americans is what the Democrats were trying to address in Congress, right? Affordability. It's in poll after poll. There was one today that shows Trump underwater by 21 points on the economy. But here's my question for you, Madam Mayor. Is it enough for Democrats to live in voters' discontent, or how do you convince them that you, as someone who isn't president, can make their lives better?
And Chris, I can tell you that's the number one question I hear as I'm moving around the state. People want to know what elected officials can do and will do to make a difference for them. Even before this war, we were already hearing from people who were concerned about grocery prices, rising utility costs, and housing costs. And now add on to that the cost of gas. People are very uncertain about the economy. So what I am offering as a candidate are real solutions. I'm talking about how I'll help rural Georgia with their economy, how we'll help invest in affordable housing, our plan to expand childcare in this state. These are things that people want to know. How can I afford to pay my medical bills when 9 rural hospitals have closed in the state of Georgia because we've not expanded Medicaid? So people want to know details. They want to know solutions. Affordability is not a hoax. People are living it every day, and they want leaders to be able to deliver on it.
The Georgia governor's race, I don't need to tell you, is one of the most closely watched and high-stakes primaries in the country, and the ads are everywhere. Let me play some of them.
I am thrilled to give my complete and total endorsement to my good friend and your next governor, Burt Jones.
Boom! Chris Carr, Sheriff. What are we shooting? Drones. We're not waiting on bureaucrats anymore. I'll defend you and anyone else in law enforcement doing the right thing.
Too often, criminal illegals commit sick, violent crimes, victimize our children, and get away with murder. So here's my guarantee to them. Do that when I'm governor, and you'll end up deported or departed.
Those are all Republicans. According to Ad Impact, they have spent just over $99 million on ads for a primary. Democrats, by contrast, have spent just over $1 million. Now, you're not running against any of those Republicans yet. You have your own primary to get through. But does that kind of money, which includes $50 billion spent by billionaire Rick Jackson, immediately put you at a disadvantage?
Chris, I woke up this morning literally to my name coming out of Rick Jackson's mouth. I didn't even know he was running an ad against me. So that tells you how much they are spending. It is a concern because Republicans like Rick Jackson have already put in $50 million of personal money into this race. And for us on the Democratic side, by and large, we are raising from grassroots donors. I have over 25,000 grassroots donors with an average donation of less than $100. People are waiting to engage until after the primary. And that does give me pause for concern because Republicans have the money. But I am reminded we still have the power of the vote, but we certainly want to be able to get our message out, get people motivated, remind them that there's even an election happening. I had someone stop me the other day and ask, is there an election happening anytime soon? And early voting begins in Georgia April 27th.
I want to also ask you about your new book, because I was thinking last night as I was watching some of the California governors debate, they all talked about who they are, right, where they came from, what they stand for. So you write this new book. It is focused on how you overcame significant hardships that include your father's arrest and incarceration. But I wonder today, when there's so much about, what is a viral moment and I guess how much money you have for ads, and in a political world dominated by Donald Trump, the latest thing he said and done, how much do you think a personal story matters to voters?
Well, for me, Chris, I started writing this book when I was no longer mayor of Atlanta and before I made the decision to run for governor. So I was very happy that I got to tell it in its fullness. I don't know that I would have told it in the same way had I anticipated another run for office. But that being said, it is the purest form of my truth. And I think that people really want to know who's representing them. What motivates you? What's your story? How can you possibly relate to me on affordability? Because people look at where I am today, but I talk about taking that bucket of water home from my mom's hair salon to flush the toilet when the water was turned off and running out of gas and the lights being turned off and my dad's incarceration and his addiction. And so many people can relate to so many of the things that I write about and experience in my family. And it's not about trying to match sob story for sob story. It's just about sharing what motivates me to do what I do and what I want to do on behalf of other families, because I've lived it, I've experienced it. And it's something that I'm grateful that other people stood in the gap for our family to help us get on the other side with. And I hope to do that in the same way for people if I'm elected governor of Georgia.